Moonshine. Everybody wants some moonshine? Okay.
Yeah. That's how you opened armchairs this week.
This week?
I see what you did there. Ooh. You want to start a racing league?
Sure, let's go. Actually...
Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever the hell you're listening to this. You're listening to Fat, Unathletic Nerds Talking Sports, the Sports Pod with Dad Bods. This is your host, Jackknife, along with Tommy Joe and the lovely Brianne, or Mrs. Jackknife, I should say. How are we doing, everyone?
Give me a minute.
It has.
Good.
Yeah, it has been a minute. So yeah, Zach Danielz couldn't make it today, so we're just going to hold the fort with Adam. Hopefully he's with us next week. So. Hopefully. So, yeah, we couldn't record last week because I had to I was my cousin's confirmation sponsor. I didn't burst into flames as soon as I walked into that church, so that was a good sign.
That's good.
Maybe good. I'm not going to hell. I don't know. But anyway, how was your weekend, Tom?
Yeah, it was uneventful.
What happened? Nothing?
So, I had to leave work early Friday. I had to get to the airport. Had to fly to Indianapolis. And then there was some race, like the Indy 500 or something, it was just, it was the best fucking weekend of my life. So we're gonna get into that later. But like with the Indy 500, like people's every sport always says that their big event is always the greatest spectacle in their sport, or it's the largest single day. The Indy 500 is the largest single day event in the world, sporting event in the world. There were over 300,000 people in attendance.
Wow.
That's a lot of people. Like that's bigger than some cities in New Jersey. That's bigger than the population of some cities in Jersey. Yeah.
Some states even.
Yeah, and the track is so big, it's its own town. It's in Speedway, Indiana. Yeah,
it's like State College, PA.
Yeah. It's just it's huge. It's great. It's a vibe. You got to go there. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah. We'll get into that later. I don't know if the mic did pick you up. Mrs. Jackknife, you want to say anything to the mic, or no? Just gonna sit.
Happy to be here today.
Happy to be here.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
But yeah, I'm very happy to get this going again. Cause I listened to the last episode I was on. I released the new episode of Cutting Edge. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. I was a mess the last episode, because as proud as I was of the Cutting Edge, I was about unproud of myself as our previous FUNTS episode. 2 corrections I gotta put out there. 1, I called former Ranger and current Carolina Hurricane Jesper Fast the name of current Devils player Jesper Bratt. Fast scored the series winner for the Hurricanes. And the other correction, I wanted to say I predicted the Golden Knights beating the Panthers in the Stanley Cup, which I'll get into that later, as we'll see. My prediction was correct. My dumbass initially said Golden Knights beating the Hurricanes, then corrected myself wrongly again to Panthers beating the Hurricanes, which was the Eastern Conference Final. But yeah, clearly I was having an off night, and if we want this podcast to grow, I need to be better, especially if I'm our quintessential hockey guy. I apologize for this flubbing of information. It was a crime against humanity. But as Bree once said to me after I realized that, I was kicking myself. She's like, think about all the hockey announcers you love, getting names wrong. Like Sam Rosen butchers Rangers names all the time. It's like, score, Vincent Trocheck. Oh, excuse me, that's Artemi Panarin. Sam Rosen's and
even Mike Joy gets it wrong in the booth too.
Does he?
Sometimes, not often, but sometimes. His agents get into him.
So is Sam Rosen, unfortunately, which I hate to.
Because Mike Joy is probably one of my favorite NASCAR announcers next to Alan Bestwick. Alan Bestwick was actually one of the track announcers at the Speedway, which is really cool.
Really?
Yes.
What channel does he...
He used to be with ESPN.
Okay.
And ESPN and TNT. And I think he was also with CBS.
Okay.
But now he does the SRX series with Tony Stewart.
Okay.
He's the TV announcer for that, which is now ESPN.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, mostly what we're going to talk about is basketball, NASCAR, hockey, but we do have
IndyCar.
IndyCar too. Duh. I mean, I'm such a noob, you know. Even though I've been watching NASCAR for a while.
Still in May.
Yeah, we're still in May. I've been. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't really followed IndyCar like I have NASCAR through my life, so that's a mistake on my part. But I do have one quick baseball note before we get into everything else. Aaron Judge has 18 home runs through May 31st. Today's May 31st, the time of this recording. That's the same thing as last year, but this year he spent time on the 10-day DL. That's saying something.
Wow.
We gonna have another 60 home run season? Who knows? But yeah.
63. Because didn't you get 61? 62?
I think he got 62 if I remember correctly.
63.
Tie the record or break the record?
He broke the
record,
American
yeah.
League record. Or as some people say, like they look at that as the major league record because, you know, Barry Bonds, steroids, all that stuff. But we do have some basketball notes. I mean, Zach couldn't make it tonight, but he did leave us a lot of basketball notes. And
He did.
I'll try to read through this as best as I can.
And that was longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah. I said to myself, and
Sorry.
for context, I told them if I talk about baseball for more than 10 seconds, shoot me. Well, nice knowing you guys. But the NBA finals are set. The number 1 seed Denver Nuggets are taking on the number 8 seed Miami Heat. We have a David and Goliath matchup on paper, but it doesn't feel that way, as Zach puts it. The Nuggets swept the Lakers. Jokic... It is Jokic, right? Yes, Jokic has been the best player in the playoffs, period, averaging 30 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds. That's a triple-double a game. That's awesome. Some of the shots he made in Game 4 defied physics, as Zach put it. And Jamal Murray, in 2 of the 4 games versus LA, went radioactive for a half. Scored 25-plus every game of the sweep. And the Heat squeezed by the Celtics. We almost had a reverse sweep. Almost had the first reverse sweep in NBA history. It's happened in baseball. Don't remind me of that. It's happened 4 times in the NHL, but not yet in basketball. The Celtics came close. But the Heat gained the 3-0 lead, similar to the Nuggets. But the Celtics fought back. Won 3 straight, including a nail-biter at the end of Game 6. That was a buzzer beater. But they ended up shitting the bed in Game 7. And this is what Zach said. The Celtics are a damn good team. Joe Mazzulla did not get enough out of them. Will Jaylen Brown get paid? Probably. I don't know the salary cap info like I do hockey as opposed to basketball. But Jimmy Butler catches the headlines. And Bam Adebayo. Did I say it right, Brie?
Adebayo.
And Bam Adebayo has been playing rather pedestrian.
What would he do without you?
That's why I married her. Bam Adebayo has been playing rather pedestrian, but truth is, a bunch of no-name guys are the real shockers. Gabe Vincent, undrafted in 2018, joined the Heat in 2020, has balled out this postseason. Caleb Martin, undrafted in 2019, was waived in 2019 by the Hornets. Rapper J. Cole called up an assistant coach of the Heat, Karen Butler, and helped him get signed, and has been tearing it up in the postseason. Max Struss, another 2019 undrafted role player who has stepped up immensely in the postseason. All right. Now I'm going to read word for word Zach's prediction. I don't want to pick the Nuggets to win. My heart wants the Heat to win. But the Nuggets have just been too good this entire postseason. And they have a great supporting cast that I feel is underrated by many. Tom, you doing all right there? What'd I do?
I just slurped. No, not you. I slurped my drink.
That's it. You're cut off.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
The Heat's only chance is to figure out how to slow down Jokic and hope their role players continue to do what they've done all postseason long. You know Jimmy's going to get hounded, and I don't think Adebayo is going to handle Jokic well, especially with his play lately. I think the Nuggets handle them well, but Miami might steal 1 or 2. Let's hope 2 games for the entertainment factor. Prediction, Nuggets win 4-2. I mean, you guys don't... I know a little bit more about basketball than you do. I'm hoping the Nuggets...
Well, you should know a lot more than I do because I know nothing.
True.
I just know that you get 3 points when you shoot
behind the arc.
Yeah.
Better than 2 points.
See, I didn't know it's called the arc. So I mean, which essentially is killing the game, right? 3-pointers, because isn't everyone like going for 3-pointers and.
I don't know if I go that. No one knows how to play defense anymore. It seems like, but yeah, I'm picking the Nuggets too.
Sure, let's go with the Nuggets. Because who doesn't like Nuggets? I mean, Nuggets are.
I mean,
great. They're chicken. Sometimes they're shaped like dinosaurs.
This match.
Your type of nugget.
Right.
This matchup is basically, cooking dinner. Heat nuggets. You heat the nuggets.
There you go, Jack.
That was not funny at all. And I really hope I didn't mispronounce Jokic's name, because now that I hear it coming out of my mouth, I'm like, wow, that probably isn't right.
Are you talking about
Jokic or Jokic? Is it? I don't know.
I don't think it's Jokic because there's no H.
I forget. Yeah,
it's Jokic. Why'd you be like
Nikolai Jokic?
Like
Nikolai Jokic. Maybe Nikolai Jokic. It sounds better like when I say his first name.
Full name, yeah.
Yeah, Nikolai
Say
Jokic.
my name.
But yeah, I mean, Zach, if you're listening to this, you can reprimand me for it when you're here. So, but yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So, Tom, you had an eventful weekend.
I really did. So this weekend is known. Well, this past Sunday is known as Christmas Day in the racing world, because you have Monaco in the morning, you have the Indy 500, and then the Coke 600. But this year it didn't really go that way because you had rain all in Charlotte, and the Cup race got postponed till Monday. Now, where do I even begin with this Indy 500? Because I mean, I know on Armchairs, if you listen to us on there, I know that I've been saying that I've been really excited to be going to a race on an off year, because the last time I went was the biggest crowd ever. I forgot what the number was, but 100? I went to the 100th running, and it was the biggest crowd they've ever had.
Okay.
Now, I remember Sunday morning, I'm going to get a little bit, splattered here, but just to give you guys an idea, like when you get off the plane in Indianapolis, the first thing you see is this is May. You see racing stuff. Like the whole city just embraces the month of May for the Indy 500. Yeah. I mean, this is the biggest thing the city has all year long, and everyone just embraces it. Like this is a city that loves racing and loves IndyCar, and like even Sunday morning when I'm watching the news, the local news is having their broadcast from the Speedway.
Wow.
Yeah. So as I'm watching it in the morning, getting ready to go to the race, they're saying, yeah, we're expecting this to be the second largest crowd in history, only next to the 100th running. I'm like, great. I mean, that is great. I was just expecting there not to be like more people, but I mean, hey, the more the merrier, I mean, it's a huge event. You got to get people there,
Yeah.
and they do a very good job of promoting this race. And there's people from all over. When on Saturday, they had a parade for all the drivers and just for the whole town. And there's a driver from Argentina, and I know I'm going to butcher his name. Agustin Canapio. He's from Argentina, and there were a whole bunch of people from Argentina, a couple maybe 500 feet away from me, and they kept saying like ole 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 ole, and they were just getting pumped this entire time. And then when the driver came down for the parade, they went absolutely nuts. It's kind of a little bit like soccer, where you have some driver, because IndyCar is more international than NASCAR. I mean, it's an American racing series. They race mainly in America, but when you get a driver that's from a different country, those fans just go crazy for them, and you just get an international crowd when you go to the 500. Like I remember when I went to the 100th running, the couple sitting in front of me were from Mexico. The couple to the left of me were from Germany. I had another couple from Spain, and the ones behind me were from Canada. So I was the only American right there.
Wow.
It's and I wasn't even from Indianapolis. But where am I going with this? So it was a really large crowd, and just the whole city just takes in the whole month and just appreciates this race. Since I went there the last time, back in 2016, Roger Penske bought the track, bought the racing series, and the media. And I got to tell you, the improvements that they've made to this racetrack since then, like, it wasn't bad then. I loved it back in 2016. That's why I came back. But the fan amenities that they've made, the progress that they've made, is just made that track so much better. It is the best track I've ever been to in my life. It's clean. It's so accessible for the fans, and there's just nothing like it. Like, when we were driving to the race, the whole city's full of traffic just because there's 300,000 people trying to get to one.
Everything
one
in
spot.
Indianapolis stops when the 500's going on.
Exactly. So I remember at one point we're sitting in traffic and there's people walking by us trying to get to the track. We're like 2 miles from the track still, and these people are walking by us and we never catch back up to them. So I tell my dad, I know we had these parking passes. Why wouldn't we just park on this guy's lawn? Because everyone that's close to the track just sells their lawns or property that they have for parking. So we found it somewhere for $20, and then we walk the rest of the way up. And there's like a downtown area of Speedway, Indiana, that wasn't there last time I went there. It's all built up. You got restaurants, you got bars, you got breweries, distilleries, wineries.
Wow.
You have everything. You have the company that makes the bodies for IndyCar. Their headquarters are there. Allison Transmission is based out of there. There's just a lot going on in downtown Speedway, even downtown Indianapolis too.
Yeah.
But the race was amazing. So I sat behind pit road. Now, if Jack can play a clip here, and I'll leave a little bit of time in here, unless you want to just cut it.
Roll the clip.
Come on before, it's going to be close. It's going to be also close. Newgarden leading.
And we're back.
All right. So, what you just heard was me screaming, "No." Now, you might be wondering, do I not like Joseph Newgarden? No, I love Joseph Newgarden. I think he's awesome. The thing is that
you think he's so awesome, you bet on him, right?
I thought I bet on him.
Right?
I thought I bet on him.
Oh.
So when I go to a race, if I sit behind pit road, 9 times out of 10, the team in front of me, they win. So Scott McLaughlin races for Penske, and he usually races either Shell or Pennzoil.
Right.
So I see in front of me, I see Team Penske, and I see Shell. I'm like, Scott McLaughlin. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put $50 on him to win. It's $1,000 payout. Cake, right?
Yeah.
Cakewalk. So the race goes on. Everything goes on. The beautiful ceremony, like before the race, they have the Purdue marching band, they're playing. Like it's like a college. They have marching bands. They have everything. You have to go. If you're a sports fan, you have to go to this at least once.
Wifey and I added this to our bucket list.
You have to go at least once. And if you don't like racing and you like EDM, there is a rave going on in turn 4.
Why,
the
Shaq?
whole race. Shaq was one of the DJs. They had multiple DJs, but it's just going the whole time. It's called the Snake Pit. So if you don't like racing, there's still something there for you to do and for you to enjoy. So as the race goes on, and they go through their first pit stops, I see the team in front of me put down the sign for pit stops, and it's a number 2.
There, your heart just sank.
Now you might be like, well, what's the point of that? Well, Penske has 3 cars. They have the 12, the 12, the 3, and the 2. Scott McLaughlin races the 3 car. He does it for Dale. Joseph Newgarden races the 2 car. He was racing a Shell paint scheme this weekend. My heart literally sank when I saw that 2 sign come out, because I bet on Scott McLaughlin and not Joseph Newgarden. And I'm like, all right, he's good, because he wasn't too far from me. He was maybe 3 or 4 stalls ahead of me. So I'm like, all right, maybe Scott can still pull this off. No, Scott was running mid-pack all day, and I'm like, oh, come on.
And to make matters worse.
Scott McLaughlin, Joseph Newgarden wins the race. So that's what that was. But to get to that point, The Indy 500. This is the 107th running. The first race was 1909. The first race was 1911, and they didn't race during World War I or World War II.
Right.
So that's why, because they had the centennial era from 2009 to 2016 was the centennial era, because that's from was the first race to the 100th race.
Okay.
So from the 100 years of the track to the 100th race.
Yeah, I got it. That's cool.
Yeah. So, where was I going with this? So the race has always been 500 miles exactly. So if you watch NASCAR, you know that they have overtime. The races can go past the designated time, but the Indy 500 has always been 500 miles.
Yeah.
It could end under caution. It could end under green, but it's always 500 miles.
IndyCar's boomers. They don't care.
So I don't think they want to mess with tradition, but when they had there was 3 red flags at the end of the race, which is unprecedented for IndyCar.
Really?
The finish kind of felt like a NASCAR finish. So they had the first red flag, I think, with I think it was 17 laps to go. So they red flagged the race. It was pretty bad. They brought them down pit road. They stopped them. They cleared up the track. So then they go back out, and then they go back green. And then another wreck happens. They red flag the race again. Mm-hmm. And with that red flag, that was the one that sent the tire out into the tire from names escape me right now. Felix Rosenquist. His tire went out into the parking lot. Narrowly missed the grandstand and the suites, but right in between that space.
Yeah.
And into the parking lot and hit a poor Chevy Cruze.
Oh my!
But the Speedway took care of her because she ended up being in victory lane, and she was also kissed the bricks with Joseph Newgarden. So that was pretty cool.
And she got a new car out of it.
And she got a new car. So that was pretty cool. But so the last restart was, so in NASCAR they have the green white checker.
Yes.
So instead of doing a green white checker, they did, once they dropped the green flag, that was the last lap.
Really?
So they literally got out of pit road. And then by the time they got to turn 4, that's when the green flag dropped and the white flag dropped.
Ooh.
And it was a drag race between Marcus Ericsson, the defending champion, and Joseph Newgarden. And Joseph Newgarden was able to get around them in the backstretch and hold them off and get his first Indianapolis 500 win, which I love it for him. I like Joseph. I like him. He's a great guy. He actually married a Disney princess.
Like what? Like an actress who plays a Disney princess?
They met at Disney.
Which Disney princess?
I believe it was Snow White.
Okay.
Believe it was Snow White. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he was on the Dale Jr. download, and he went into all detail about how he met his wife.
Good for him.
I love that.
Yeah. But he's a great guy, and I'm happy that he won. This is Roger Penske's first win at the 500 since owning the track, and also his first time winning the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 on the same weekend.
Perfect transition.
So, NASCAR. So NASCAR had the Coke 600. It was supposed to be rain on Sunday, but it rained and got pushed to Monday. And it was probably the most entertaining 600 ever. 31 lead changes and lots of passing. With this next-gen car, there's a lot of issues with multi-groove, with having multiple grooves in the racetrack. Mm-hmm. Because with the old car, the mile and a half tracks suffered. Meanwhile, the short tracks were better. Now it seems like with the current car, the mile and a half tracks are the best racing you get all year, and the short tracks suck. Mm-hmm. And couple things happened in that. Later in the race, Denny Hamlin runs Chase Elliott up the track on the exit of turn 4, and Chase makes contact into the wall, and Chase Elliott didn't like that, and he cut down. He made a hard left into Denny Hamlin's right rear, sending him straight into the wall. If you want to see the replay, now you know that the drivers wore Hans devices to prevent their heads from going forward. He made contact with the steering wheel.
Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, even with the Hans device.
Oh, that's not good.
Last year, a precedent was set with Bubba Wallace when he wrecked Kyle Larson at
wanted
Vegas.
to fight him after.
Yeah. People were saying it's the exact same thing. I mean, it's the exact same thing to the extent of that Chase Elliott intentionally wrecked Hamlin. There's no doubt. He turned left. Denny Hamlin, even after the race, shared the SMT data, which shows steering angle, throttle, brake, yaw, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And you could see him turn hard to the left. So after that, now Chase Elliott is suspended for one race. He's going to miss St. Louis. And Corey LaJoie, who drives a 7 car for Spire Motorsports, is going to be filling in for Chase Elliott because Josh Berry, the reserve driver, is going to be in Portland with the Xfinity Series. Portland, Washington. So that's a big,
Portland, Washington, not Portland, Oregon.
Portland,
That's
Oregon.
the one.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it?
Is there a Portland, Washington? Now I'm curious.
I thought it was
I only
Washington.
know
He's on the. He's in the Northwest.
Okay.
So, so he can't do double duty because that's just a lot of flying back and forth. So Corey LaJoie is going to be racing the 9 car this weekend, and then Carson Hocevar from the Truck Series is going to be racing in Corey LaJoie's car.
Okay.
I'm kind of pumped to see what Corey can do in top equipment because Spire Motorsports isn't top equipment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Michael McDowell was penalized for losing a wheel late in the race. And then
I remember when that happened.
This just broke today. Chase Briscoe was served an L3 penalty for a counterfeit next-gen part. He got docked 120 points, 25 playoff points, and a $250,000 fine.
What's an L3 penalty?
So there's different levels. There's L1, L2, and L3.
Okay.
This is the first time I've seen an L3 penalty.
Is that the highest?
That's the highest.
Really?
I've seen 200,000. I have not seen 250,000.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a big ass.
That's a big fine. I don't know specifics on what the counterfeit part was. I'll probably do that in next week's Armchairs episode. Because I always like to see what these teams do to get around the rules.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes NASCAR, Because I broke down Austin Dillon's penalty when they modified the part, the part that holds the underwing.
Yeah.
And they made it so if you have to adjust it, you have to use wrenches to loosen 2 nuts and then spin in a 3rd nut. What they did is that they made those 3 pieces one, so you could just do it by hand. And the only way that you could tell that it was modified is by literally taking the car apart. Because they took that car back to R&D to tear the car down, because every week they take 2 cars at random, and they tear them down just to see what teams are doing.
Yeah.
So he was. Yeah, so he was the unlucky recipient of the random testing, and they found it.
Oof.
So, but Chase Briscoe, I believe I guess they didn't find that. I guess they didn't find it at the track because it just got served now. But I'll go into more detail about that next week with next week's episode.
Right.
Because unfortunately, this week there won't be an Armchairs episode this week.
Not unless you count the one you released today, which was the last week's episode.
Last week's episode because my computer didn't want to upload it. It was a big deal, and I was on a time crunch to get out of here to get to the airport because Friday I didn't come back home. I just went from work to the airport, and if you ever have to fly out of Newark, don't. If you have to travel anywhere and you see Port Authority of NY and NJ, just don't do it. Don't do it. Newark, LaGuardia, and JFK are terrible airports. Never do it. Never. Because when I left Indy on Monday, I literally walked right through TSA. It took me longer to go the zigzag line than it did to get through TSA. And there wasn't even anyone in front of me. It was just the walk, it took me longer just to do that, put my stuff in the bins, and then go through.
Wow.
Yeah, it just literally went right through. But it's a great time. It's a great time. Indy 500, do it.
All right.
And I guess that would sum up my
Racing segment?
racing segment.
Yeah, that's what I'd call it. Yep, now on to hockey. The Stanley Cup final is set. I'm wearing everyone who listens to this knows I'm a huge Ranger fan. That's my favorite team. But if you're watching on video, I'm wearing a Vegas Golden Knights shirt. This shirt my lovely wife got for me. Literally as the shit hit the fan with COVID because she was in Las Vegas at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. I I normally believe it's sacrilege to wear team's colors. That's not your favorites, but I make an exception
Fuck
for
the
this.
colors. You're wearing the whole shirt.
You know what I mean. you know. That's the point. That's the point. I know. But the Stanley Cup final is set. Like their basketball counterparts in South Florida, the Florida Panthers, number 8 seed, are going to be taking on the number 1 seed, Vegas Golden Knights. And speaking of Golden Knights, I got a name challenge for you tonight, Tom. You should see the name on the notes right now. Bree, if you want to partake in this, come over here. Let's see.
John Smith.
Funny.
No.
If Zach was here, he'd be totally mind-fucked right now because I got him with this once.
Which one's the tricky one?
This.
Which part of the name is the tricky one?
The last name.
Is he French?
Yes.
So
Nicolas Ra.
it's not Wa, right?
It's Wah. He got it. Wait, you said Wah, right? You said Wah. You said Ra.
Yeah, I said Ra.
Okay, Bree got it's Wah. Yeah.
But the only way this is gonna be tricky is if it's French.
But yeah, if only Zach was here, because Zach.
You say Roy.
Yeah, I got him with Derek Roy a few episodes ago, and I totally knew he would look at that and be like, "Oh God, is that Wah or Roy? He's totally gonna fuck with me." But yeah, this is the second Cup appearance for both teams in their history. Florida, their first appearance was in 1996. They lost to the Colorado Avalanche. For the Vegas Golden Knights, that was in 2018. Their first season in existence, they lost to the Washington Capitals. Whoever wins this matchup will be the first Stanley Cup victory for either team. So I find that very exciting that we're getting a first-time champion. So, how do we get here? The Panthers swept the Hurricanes. Going back to 2009, I think it was. Yeah, 2009. The Hurricanes have lost 12 straight Eastern Conference final games. They've gotten swept 3 times in a row.
Wow, they must suck.
Yeah, they have a cup to their name, so.
How long ago?
2006.
They suck.
More recent than the Rangers.
The Rangers the Rangers might be hiring the coach from that 2016, which I'd be okay with, but I still say they should go with Chris Knobloch. I found out that they got permission to interview John Hines today. Chris, if you're watching this, don't do it.
You know, Jed, there's going to be hockey players, NHL players soon that weren't alive for that.
What?
That Stanley Cup win, 2006.
Yeah,
There's going to be children in the NHL who weren't alive for that.
Okay.
2000s.
Yep. But yeah.
There's already NASCAR there's drivers in NASCAR who weren't alive when Dale died.
Wow.
That was 2003.
2001.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurricanes, I say it all the time. They have the best coach in the league. I think they have the best system, but eventually injury caught up to them, and the freaking Panthers are a juggernaut right now. Matthew Tkachuk scored back-to-back overtime game-winning goals in games 1 and 2 of that series, and one of them was in quadruple overtime with 12 seconds left.
Drink your Ovaltine.
Ovaltine. Yeah, he scored this, and he scored the series winner with 5 seconds left in Game 4 to complete the sweep. He leads the team in points with 21, 9 goals, 12 assists. This kid, he's got personality to him. He's celebrated both overtime goals. He celebrated with his teammates for a few seconds, and then immediately just ran off the ice with them. Normally, you don't see that happen. It was
Side note. Sorry, I don't mean to, that reminded me of something. So when Newgarden won, he comes back around. He stops at the yard of bricks, the start-finish line. He hops out of his car and he's like, "Yeah!" He's just punched in the air. And you see him walk to the wall. He hops the wall, goes through a hole in the fence, and he parties in the fucking crowd.
Oh my!
With the fans. It looked like he's just trying to run away, and he's just celebrating with everyone. Who does that?
It's a guy who just won the Indy 500. That's who does it. But yeah, Tkachuk, his teammates hugged him, and they're like, "All right, guys, let's go home." Just immediately ran off the ice. And not only that, he was interviewed by Chuck Charles Barkley and Shaq before
DJ Diesel?
Yeah, DJ Diesel. He was interviewed by Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal before Game 6, I believe it was, of Heat Celtics. And, I guess, listen, give this game some exposure, like through basketball. I'm okay with that. But here's an interesting stat on him. He's the only player in NHL history to score 3 overtime winners and 4 game winners in one postseason. And the Panthers goalie, Sergei Bobrovsky, he's got 19.7 goals saved above expected this postseason. If the Panthers do pull it off, it's going to be very hard to pick a Conn Smythe winner between the two of them. I mean, Bobrovsky's playing out of his fucking mind right now, but Tkachuk is setting himself so much further apart from the other skaters on Florida. It's going to be tough to pick between the two of them. But that's assuming they get past these guys. Vegas Golden Knights, they beat the Dallas Stars in 6 games. First off, Stars captain Jamie Benn took an absolutely boneheaded penalty in Game 3. Basically, cross-checking guy who's down on the ice as his head is on the ice. That led to a 2-game suspension. I was very surprised he got a suspension in general, let alone 2 games, knowing how George Peros is. But, geez, look at all that foam in that beer. The Stars made it interesting. They were able to force a Game 6. But Jamie Benn came back for that, only for them to get absolutely annihilated 6-0. And looking at the Knights roster, Jack Eichel, his first ever postseason, hasn't lost a postseason series. 18 points, 6 goals, 12 assists. Jonathan Marchessault, 17 points, 9 goals, 8 assists. Mark Stone, the captain, 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists. Ivan Barbashev, who was a depth player, the regular season, in 82 games, he played all 82 games. He put up 45 points, 16 goals, 29 assists. This postseason, he's got 15 points, 6 goals, 9 assists in 17 games. In Aiden Hill, the Knights goalie, he was 4th overall on their depth chart at one point. And now he's got 6.4 goals saved above expected. Not like amazing per se, but he's doing pretty well. He's holding the fort down for them. Now, the series is going to start 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. Now, just think about this. All the Pittsburgh Penguins had to do was win the last game of the season at home against the Chicago Blackhawks, who were in the running and eventually won the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. All the Pens had to do was beat the Hawks, and the Panthers are not in the playoffs. Think about that. But since upsetting the Bruins with that 3-1 comeback, they've been a juggernaut. That being said, I'm going with the Vegas Golden Knights. Not only do they have more guys on this team that have won previously, there's more balance to their lineup. 4 Knights, the 4 I mentioned above, are all in the top 10 in playoff points this year. Panthers only have 2. Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe, who is tied with Stone and Barbashev. Let me see. Oh, yeah, now I see. Carter, who's tied with Stone and Barbashev. Now I see what I did there. Florida has the better goalie, but Vegas has the better skaters. We'll see how this 10-day layoff affects the Panthers. They could be a little cold after not playing for a long amount of time. But this is going 7. And I say the Knights are going to take it. And not to be superstitious, but it would be so perfect for former Bruins coach Bruce Cassidy, after they fired him last year.
That sounds like a cowboy.
Bruce Cassidy. Bruce Cassidy. We got to write a Western where that's the name of the hero of our movie.
Yeah.
Bruce Cassidy. He got fired by the Bruins, not because he did a bad job, but they're like, oh, your message went stale. They hired Jim Montgomery, and they have the best regular season ever. But how perfect would it be? They got upset by the Panthers, and the coach that they fired goes on to win the Stanley Cup the next year.
That's great.
That would be awesome.
I love storylines like that,
Me too, because I hated that Cassidy was a Bruin, but he's a good coach.
That's like Kyle Larson.
Let's not get into the reason why he got fired.
He was abruptly fired and suspended, and then his first year back won the championship. So
yeah, fair enough.
He did something very stupid.
It was stupid. We're not going to get into it.
No, we're not. Well, but it was very stupid. Shouldn't have done it. But he came back the next year and just gave it all hell.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, that's my take. The Golden Knights winning 7 games, 4-3. So that's basically all we have to cover tonight. Oh wow, we've actually finished this episode relatively quickly for once.
So let's just make some banter.
Yeah, let's make some banter. Bree, do you know what that means?
Because we have...
Banter?
Yeah.
Yes, Jack.
Who am I kidding? Yeah, who am I kidding? You're a grown adult. You know what we're talking
I
about.
thought you said you're a girl eater.
Never drinking moonshine again before. Wink, wink.
It was the sip of moonshine.
Yeah, the sip he had, yeah. Well, Bree, I'm sure I told you... I'm sure I told you what he did on my 21st birthday, right?
Bree, come to the microphone so people can hear you.
So for my 21st birthday, this guy, I was with my ex at the time, and she was kind of, ignoring me on my birthday, on my 21st birthday, because we were going away, and she was kind of under the impression like, oh, we're going away, so like this day doesn't matter, and so I call up this guy, like, hey, you want to go to the bar? It was like 11. It was afternoon. It was after 12 o'clock.
Yeah,
he just woke up. So we head to the bar, and he's halfway through his fucking Miller Lite, and he is fucking drunk.
Chapter House, Howell, New Jersey.
Yes, he's halfway through a Miller Lite, and he's drunk. A Miller Lite, and he's drunk.
I had nothing in my stomach.
It was a Miller Lite.
I don't even think that would do that to me.
But yeah, that just goes to prove how long our friendship has gone.
Yeah.
Because we are now 28 and 29. You old fart.
You turned 29 in 22 days?
23 days.
23 days.
Well, I guess 22 days. Yeah,
that's what yeah, I'm bad at math sometimes when I don't have like the numbers right in front of me.
Thriving?
No, you're young and thriving. I'm old.
Oh,
But
I know. Yeah.
Jill's young and thriving.
Jill's a baby compared to all of us.
I love you, Jill.
yesterday, we tried this place in Tom's River that,
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I mean, I'm going to say it right now. We don't have any sponsors. We're still trying to grow this podcast.
If you want to sponsor us, Tonar, we're using your mics. I highly doubt you're listening to us, but we buy your mics off Amazon. We have almost going to be exclusively Tonar once Zach gets his.
Exactly. Once Zach gets his.
The official recording mic of FUNTS podcast.
Yeah, they didn't even pay us to say that. But
No.
kind of testing the reach here, because Brie and I, we got dinner last night from a place in Tom's River called Big Dog's Cafe. I saw them on Instagram. They've only been open for 9 months, and
So
or did I say 9 months?
You said 9 months.
I did say 9
Why
months.
are you thinking about 9 months, Jack?
No,
You
not
gay,
yet.
Brie?
Not yet.
Drinking moonshine.
They've been open for 3 months, and yeah, I saw their menu. Like, everything on here looks good. And if you're not from New Jersey, do you know what? If you don't know what a Jersey burger is, that's a burger with pork roll on it. And
Pork roll. It's fucking pork roll. It is not Taylor ham. Nowhere on any package of pork roll does it say ham.
not even on Taylor pork roll products.
It is John Taylor pork roll.
Yes.
Because the FDA even said this shit isn't ham. You can't call it ham.
I can't believe we're siding with a 3-letter agency.
I know, right? The Alphabet Boys.
Alphabet Boys. But yeah, but in all seriousness, Big Dog's Cafe, that was in the top 3 of like best Jersey burgers.
Better than Moore's.
I don't know if I necessarily go that far yet, but like it had bacon on it. And like
Bacon and pork roll?
Bacon and pork roll.
Wow. So you know what I do when we go camping?
What?
I make those.
Nice.
Bacon and pork roll. It's okay, Brie. I won't put it on yours. I'll give you. Sorry, I was gonna say I'll give you the basic bitch burger, but you're not.
That's fine.
Yeah, but not only that, like we had boneless garlic parm wings, we had buffalo chicken fried egg rolls, and the best peanut butter milkshake I've ever had. So I'm kind of testing our reach right here. If any of our listeners in New Jersey, go to Big Dog's Cafe in Tom's River. Tell them FUNTS Tell them FUNTS sent you here. They'll have no idea what the hell you're talking. They're gonna have no idea what the hell you're talking about. But listen, we want to test the reach. We want to like. Here's the thing. I'd say sponsors on jerseys are absolutely sacrilege. Just you got to see what they did to the Panthers jersey this year with the Stanley Cup patch. It's absolutely.
Who cares? Does it change the way they played the game?
It changes the way it looks.
Who cares?
I do.
No.
But nothing's sacred in FUNTS. So yeah. I'm not asking them to necessarily sponsor.
We're sluts for money. So if you want to, we have a big wall right here.
Nothing's sacred here. You can put up your company logo here.
Debris. We have a big wall here. We could put plenty of sponsors right here.
Yeah, nothing's sacred at FUNTS.
Paying you.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See, we have the approval from the lady of the house. If you're giving us money, she'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
She'll take it.
I'll take your
She'll
money.
allow it.
All right, but I mean, anything to grow this podcast. Like Dave Portnoy literally just hired some random Heat fan he saw on Twitter. Granted, he probably has a lot more followers than we do.
He said he was doing it since he was 18. I mean, don't get us wrong. So I'm gonna bring up a little bit of what I said. So I work a job, and I know this goes for you and Zach. I'm not saying this is just me. I don't really work a job. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic.
Yeah.
I don't have the time I don't work
Sorry, I burped.
I don't work a job where I can just do my tasks and then just here's my laptop and let me make content and edit this content. You know what I mean? I can't do that throughout. Why did iRacing just open up? Oh no.
Why? Oh no. Cause what? We don't have audio.
No. We're still recording. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
We're still recording. Because iRacing uses a lot of the CPU, and I just wanted to make sure it didn't just crash right now. We're still rolling. Okay.
Thank God.
So I want to get into a little bit of what I talked about last night. So I'm a heavy equipment mechanic. I can't just work on stuff while I'm at work.
Yeah.
But I really love racing. I love talking about racing. And this is what I want to do, Mm-hmm. I don't want to be a mechanic for my whole life. I can't, it's a death sentence.
Yeah.
I work with guys that are in their 60s and 70s. I don't want to be doing that when I'm 60 and 70. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's this is what I want to do. And if there's a way that we can make this happen, I will gladly... I'm making changes in my life now to do this on a regular schedule.
Yeah.
I gave up bowling.
Wow, that's saying something.
Yeah. I gave up bowling so I can do this more. I was bowling 4 times a week.
Jeez. Not even once a week?
I'm not bowling this. I'm not bowling this summer.
Okay.
The winter, I don't know, but if this can take off, I'd much rather do this than bowling.
But yeah, what's the word? I don't want to say hinders it, or not depends. But ultimately, that is all up to you, the listeners. So I guess this is a good way to end the podcast, where I tell everyone to like and share it with all their friends, right, Tom?
If you want to end it here, sure. I mean, I could keep going. I mean,
keep going.
So it's just I know you're very passionate about this. You're very passionate about sports.
Yeah, I was making...
You always have been. Even since we were kids, you've always been centered around sports.
Yep.
So you talking about sports is the perfect thing that you could do. Because I remember just being little kids, and all you talk about is sports. You're an adult. All you talk about is sports.
Freaking the bachelor party that you took me to. I found out the score of the Ranger game, and I was making memes. You saw it.
I even put it in my best man speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where Jack asked the most important question of his life. Did the Rangers win?
I love that. That line made me laugh.
Oh. No, they did not.
No, they did not win that day, no. But Jack won.
We did.
Jack won. Jack hit the jackpot.
Not Brianne, though. She stuck with me. Mrs. Jackknife.
Bree signed a life sentence and Jack won.
Well, the good thing is, if FUNTS ever does get picked up, she owns half, or my half too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? So last night, I told this in the group chat. Last night, I had a dream that we got picked up by Dirty Mo Media, which is Dale Jr.'s media group,
Yeah.
you want to call it. So like he does it. So like, it just started out with just him, the Daily Junior Download, just doing Dirty Mo Media, and then it grew into Door Bumper Clear, which is a podcast just by spotters. Like Door Bumper Clear is a term a spotter would use. And then now Denny Hamlin has a podcast, and now Indiana's own Connor Daly has a podcast with comedian Joey Molinaro, which is if you like IndyCar, give that podcast a listen, because Connor Daly is just a great dude. He's very down to earth and he's very likable. And now Denny Hamlin has a podcast, but you know what they don't have?
What?
Other sports. I know your big picture is Barstool.
Yes. I'd love to be the Barstool Rangers guy.
Yeah.
And like someone we went to middle school with, who you went to high school with.
Yes. I went to school with.
Yeah, you went to school. I didn't go to high school with him because we went to different high schools.
He was in my 6th grade class.
Yeah, and we went to middle school together, but yeah, Hubs is the Barstool Yankees guy. I'd love to freaking help him with that. I mean, this is assuming he'd let me do it, but like,
you know what I gotta find? I gotta find the yearbook from Lafayette. Do you have a yearbook from 6th grade Lafayette?
Probably. I just gotta find it.
I remember there was something about Yankees and him, like the 6th grade superlatives. There was something about him, and I gotta see what it is, because that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, we all knew Hubs was destined for it because he was a sports announcer for the morning news.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and I played Little League with him. I was terrible at. He'd probably tell you I'm terrible at baseball, which he'd be right about. So
you'd actually, you know what's funny? The first time I ever learned what the word ardent was in 6th grade, when they said that Eric is an ardent Yankees fan.
The word what?
Ardent.
I'm 29 years old and I just heard this word.
Anytime I hear the word ardent, I think of Eric. And now he works for fucking Barstool. But anyway, I had a dream last night that we got picked up by Dirty Mo Media. And Mike Davis, who's like the guy that runs Dirty Mo Media, he got mad at us because we missed the deadline for the first episode. And then we got fired immediately.
Bree just typed in ardent on my laptop, and she goes, enthusiastic or passionate. Example, an ardent baseball fan. Oh, jeez.
But this is what I want to do. You know, I remember going to Pocono 2 years ago and being like, I want to be the voice of the fan. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be affiliated with NASCAR. I don't want to be constrained by NASCAR. I want to say what I want to say, and I want to say what the fans want to say.
Yeah, and
And I'm not talking about boomers. I'm talking about real fans that actually like the sport and actually will carry the sport into the future.
Yeah, and so when we do eventually, hopefully build up steam, again, that all depends on you, the listeners, and how much we can grow you.
We have to make good content for them to listen to.
It's a 50-50 game.
We
have to give them like something to want to come back to. But if we do sell, we just gotta be careful we don't sell it to like a Benjamin from Wayne's World who will exploit us.
Yeah.
As one of our former actually no, he's one of the founders. He's just not involved anymore. Man, Darley told me you don't want to end up like Wayne and Garth in Wayne's World.
We miss you, Dan.
We miss you too, Dan. Dan, you're welcome to contribute with us
Anytime.
That's right. Well, anyway, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to follow us at FUNTS Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at Fat Athletic Nerds Talking Sports. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. This is Jack Life alongside Tommy Joe and the lovely Brianne. Have a wonderful night.
Rock and roll.